Hi, I'm Yasmin Owusu, and this is my producer, Charlie Kesenek.
But I'm your husband, and you're using all my stuff right now. What are you talking about?
So anyway, I've been looking for a one-stop shop podcast for wellness, amateur sociology, psychology, pop culture, and whatever else sparks my interest. So I created one. We are limited to no lanes. We hit the gas and get into it. This is Peaked. Press play. Hi, Charlie.
Hi.
Oh my God, I just had a sip of beer, so I could barely talk just now.
We preempted it. Hello. I'm like, I love having a beer for the podcast, but then I'm living in fear of burps. And I'm going to be like, oh, so the thing about that is.
I know. We just have to embrace the burp. I do it all the time when I have solo ones because I drink seltzer or whatever, or Coke.
Seltzer makes you
And so I'll just kind of be and people just have to live with it. I kind of wonder what the just audio, because at least there's some context when you see someone hiccup or clutch, but I wonder how it must sound.
People are like, what's wrong with her? Yeah. She always does this weird thing with her voice.
I mean, yeah, I've noticed I also have a swallow thing. If I talk long enough, I'll just kind of
like a nervous swallow.
I don't know that it's nervous. I think it's just how my saliva works. If I talk at some point, it collects some in my mouth and I need to swallow it. I don't think it's a nervous thing. Yeah. I don't feel nervous doing this ever.
Right. But self-conscious.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not to be contrarian, but again, maybe because I'm in my house and I don't feel self-conscious doing this. I think literally if I was talking to my friends, if I was talking to you, eventually I have to swallow. That's just my life.
No. You should
I have
never.
Healthy salivation, I guess. So either I can swallow it or it can start to drool out the sides of my mouth.
There's something wrong with you.
Maybe so.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, before we get into our topic, which I think is going to be quite rot.
That's why I need a beer.
Let's rile ourselves up with on our minds or on our nerves. And Charlie, I want you to start, I think. What is on your mind or what is on your nerves or both?
It's on my nerves.
Okay.
It stays on my nerves. It lives rent free on my nerves.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Spotify. Spotify Wrapped season is here.
It's here.
Everyone's like, look at me. I listen to music. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care about the Spotify Wrapped. It's not what's on my nerves. I actually think it's kind of a cool feature of the platform. I get it.
I've been shamed out of it, so I don't do it anymore.
Mine is just trash. Because I just listen to my own mixes and binaural beats. And I don't listen to a lot of music. You would be surprised at
Luckily, I listen to a lot of that stuff, my meditation stuff and all that on YouTube. So it doesn't leak into my Spotify too much. But, it is really repetitive. I think, as a cusping Gen X millennial, I just tend to be stuck in this moment in music and I just repeat it a lot.
I definitely get that.
Yeah.
I also practice along to songs sometimes. So sometimes it'll be you listen to this song 400 times. I'm like, that's because I was using it as a metronome.
Right. And it's something that it's not it's right, pressure drop or something that's just easy to drum to or something.
Yeah, it's something I like, but it doesn't actually reflect my taste in any way. So my rap sucks. But what I want to talk about is my one biggest gripe with Spotify is that I think we could solve a lot of problems with one very simple thing. And that would be just a prompt, maybe after you listen to 3 songs, maybe after you listen to a whole album, or maybe after, you've listened to this band 10 times this week, whatever. Just a prompt that says, would you like to donate $1? Doesn't have to interrupt the music, doesn't have to anything. Mm-hmm. Not a big deal. $1, right? Mm-hmm. Would you like to or not?
Just a suggestion. The same as if you've been watching Netflix for a while. Are you still watching?
Are you still watching?
It's yes or no. Let's not all get up in arms.
And what infuriates me so much about it is that it's they complain publicly about music not making them enough money. Which is why you get a million, they're just constantly trying to make you listen to podcasts now. And it's
they're offering those podcasters a lot, not me personally.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Yeah. So they could make a lot more money. They could tax that. If you're going to pay us 1/3 of a cent for a stream, then we're not going to be mad if you take 10% of the dollar that you're the pittance dollar that you're asking people to think about donating if they want to the artist. It's they would make so much more money. We would make 10,000 times
Are
more
they
money.
doing any like big exclusivity deals with musicians the way they're doing with like, offering an Alex Cooper or whoever, like millions upon millions to Joe Rogan? Are they doing any of that with like, I don't know, Taylor Swift or something? They offering her millions of dollars?
Maybe they did
to
with
be
Taylor,
exclusive?
because she did yank her stuff, remember? She took her stuff off for a while.
But I think she has the bartering tools, so I wonder if she'd even agree to that.
She's the only one, I think.
Yeah.
But the problem is most of the major artists have major label deals. So Spotify, in order to get the rights to all the music that they have, which is, all the music, they like signed some crazy deal with the labels. So the labels have a huge
Hold on
investment
it, yeah.
in Spotify. So they would never let the artists yank their music. So it's like, yeah, only people like Taylor
Like,
Swift.
you can't screw them. I'm trying to screw them.
Kendrick could take off like his last album. His last album was the first one that wasn't on, although it's probably distributed by a major. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just distributed by pure pettiness and hate.
100%. On the wings.
You see
of
the
pettiness.
credits of that last album. It's just like pettiness, being a Pisces man. I mean, you just Gemini, like that's what it's fueled by. I love it.
100%. Yeah. So that's on my nerves. Just do that, and everyone will be so much happier. And honestly, like, I'll try not to go on, but Spotify is a better platform than the other ones. Like, other than
We've tried the other ones.
Other than the fact that they have the audio is not good, which they're finally fixing. Like, it's a better platform. The search function works way better. They have the lyrics up. They have like the, like it just the playlists are better. It works better. It just works better.
Yeah.
So I hate them. They're horrible. I would love if they would be less hateable. That'd be awesome.
They should want to be, I think. But yeah, it's interesting as a user, right? As a consumer of that product. I think they're very geared towards asking nothing from the consumer.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's how we feel,
Seriously.
I think a lot of people would love to use Spotify guilt-free and would pay a little bit to do that. I think there's this feeling about using it that it has an ick, which I could do without, frankly.
Seriously.
I've tried to use the other platforms, but they are annoying and it is hard to find the music. And if I could just pay a couple more bucks, like even if built into the price, there was a little more money going to the artist and I could just feel like I can use this pretty user-friendly template or whatever without feeling like shit. I could even post my Spotify Wrapped without, all my musician friends being on my Instagram posting parodies of Spotify Wrapped. That could make me feel good, right? I'd pay a little more money for that. So I don't think we're in agreement with them. It's like they're pandering to us, but we're like, no, we're good. We'll pay. We'll pay. I remember I was paying $20 per CD, honey. I'm good. It's always going to be better than that.
Yeah.
Remember $20 for one CD?
It reached a fever pitch.
Dang.
And
that wasn't going to the artists?
No.
TLC was broke and I had that CD.
That was that would have been around the time. It was like, they're like, maybe $20 for this piece of plastic.
It was crazy.
They were tried $25 for certain ones. This is a remaster.
That's why I kind of like moved myself into like Virgin Megastore because they had this like $10 CD deal thing going on. So like for a while I was like living in the Union Square.
I lived in the bargain
Virgin
bin.
Megastore.
Yeah. Boston had sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, Boston had a thing called Newberry Comics and I lived in the, and that was like 10 and under or something like that. So you get some for 8, some for 10, and that was great. That's how I found all my music.
I don't really even know what the deal was. There were just a bunch of $10 CDs.
Yeah.
Like it was just a thing that the Virgin Megastore. I'm saying the Virgin Megastore, maybe all Virgin stores were doing, but I only knew of the one in Union Square. So whatever, I would just go there and they always had like, I bought like Depeche Mode albums and everything. I mean, you name it. That's a pretty understandable gripe. Undervaluing music is a pervasive problem. And I think it's going to tie in really nicely to our subject.
That's going to come up.
So my on your mind, on your nerves is, of course, on your nerves. One day I'll have on your mind in some, woo-woo way, but today is not that day.
More meditating.
Mine are always a little nebulous and hard to nail down, but I'll flesh it out.
I like it.
So there is a type of dialogue that is on my nerves. Okay. It can exist in comment sections online. It can exist in people's like content. It can exist just like in humans talking to each other. The idea of having haters and like enemies and like ops. Listen, I'm not the cringe police at all. Like, be as cringe as you want to be. That's not really true. Why am I lying on the internet? I can be actually very judgmental about that stuff. I'm a Taurus. What do you want? But like, I don't believe I should be. I am, but I think it's probably wrong that I am.
You know better about that.
And I think it's not embarrassing to try. It's not embarrassing to be enthusiastic. I don't think it should be inherently embarrassing to do any of those things. One thing that I really find so embarrassing, and I'm not stepping back on it, I'm not walking it back, is speaking a lot and motivating yourself on the idea that you have people against you and like you have haters and, you know, and like a lot of this just like civilians, right? Like, you know, it's one thing for like, I don't know, Kanye or something to have haters.
Sure.
But even that, I'm just like, all right, talking about your haters all day. Like, no one's thinking about you that freaking much. No. But like the Facebook warriors who are just like, everyone who didn't think I could do this and believe in me. Who the hell was thinking about you anyway? Like,
I know.
It's like, what do you think of me? I rarely do. I rarely do. It's like, it's crazy and delusional to me how many people operate this way. And, you know, on my TikTok and stuff, I'll get targeted on my For You page, right? So it's like targeted towards me, these like spiritual videos or whatever that are like, you know, this is going to be your year. And, you know, everyone who's been rooting against you. I'm like,
they will fall.
What is spiritual about that? About basically feeding that idea that you have people that are just sending you the evil eye 24/7. I actually don't think I have ops like that. I don't think anyone is checking for me on that level. I really don't. Like, there might be moments in life wherever someone's like jealousy gets twinged or whatever, but I don't think anyone really spends their free time out of my sight when I'm out of their mind, sitting there plotting against me. Like,
seriously.
And I think you're kind of bordering on psychosis if you do kind of operate that way.
That's a hallmark of like super insane ego. Like it's
wild. Like, I think it's a little bit like you're losing track or losing touch with reality a bit when you're in that.
Yeah. Or maybe I wonder if it's also like a lot of people who are like caught in the past. Cause like in high school, you're like, maybe people were a little bit more prone to like, they're my enemy. It's just like childish, you know what I mean?
Enemies did I have in high? I don't know.
I didn't, but I don't know. I can see like there's like beef and shit with like between one group of people and another. It's like, I don't know.
East and the west side of the lunch room or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's really interesting how much that that stuff, that lens has infiltrated into like inspirational content.
That's crazy.
Like, it's pretty crazy, right?
That's
if you're
absurd.
talking about, you know, having a high frequency or like, you know, vibrating on a high level, but you're just like, yeah, and I'm going to be vibrating so high that it's going to spike on my ops. Like, what do you mean?
I don't think that's
the idea. I really don't think that's it.
Oh my God.
That is
so
markedly
crazy.
not it, son.
That is so crazy.
So it's not even just on my nerves. I find it like endlessly funny. It feels very like boomer Facebook coded to me.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
It's just kind of wild, but it's also pervasive. And I mean, I'm saying it's boomer coded, but I feel like the youth are very into this idea that's like, yeah, you know, your enemies might do this, but they're going to watch you succeed day one. Like, whatever, you know, whatever the cold plunge bros are getting into. They think their enemies don't want them to cold plunge. Anyway.
That might be true.
I think the people who are for them don't necessarily want them talking about it as much as they do. People who wish them the best, or maybe like a little bit less synthesizing disaster for you.
Seriously.
Could be good.
It's so funny.
But speaking of disaster,
I know one guy who has some enemies.
Not nearly as many as he should.
Seriously.
We're going to talk a little bit about, a lot about, we watched The Reckoning which, speaking of things,
That's the best title ever.
so unhinged. So The Reckoning is crazy.
It is a reckoning, though. This motherfucker deserves, like, it is actually, like,
The Reckoning.
There's a few things deserve that level of drama, but this
Two
maybe does.
things can exist at once. Like a documentary about a deeply problematic and deeply dangerous and harmful figure in the hip hop and just music industry in general can be made and be a reckoning. And also there can be a very petty hip hop artist who is known for doing crazy things like buying out rows in other people's concerts to make it look like they're empty in the front of them. Also maybe being a little bit dramatic and hyperbolic with their title.
Yep.
Namely 50 Cent.
50 Cent,
Curtis
executive producer.
Jackson.
Of, is that his name? I don't remember. Yeah, sure.
I think his real name is Curtis Jackson. I know it's Curtis is the first name because it's so sassy that it's perfect. Curtis, of course his name is freaking Curtis. Yeah. Anyway, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent.
Let's call him 50.
Produced or was part of the production team. Executive producer.
This is his
has
passion
the highest
project.
Credits.
His passion project.
Yes, his fold-out chair had the biggest director words on it. For a documentary detailing
documentary,
Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him any given days.
The Diddler.
Diddy, just Diddy, the Diddler. Yeah, that's another one. His rise to fame and also all of his transgressions.
Transgressions would be a better term. Antics makes it sound fun.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like, I don't know, zany and whimsical. But it wasn't.
No.
And we watched all 4 parts pretty quickly. And I had nightmares.
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting about, I mean, many things are interesting about it, but so I said that I had nightmares, right? Yeah. And we're saying that it's terrible and really dark things happen. But equally, this is just a pissant, right?
Yes.
I think that's such an important part of it. It's like the more I learned about him, the less impressed I got.
I feel like it's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
I would like that to be the takeaway from the documentary.
It needs to be what people get from this. This man was only as powerful as people let him become. And I don't mean that in a victim blamey way at all. I think people's trauma and the lens people come from and, you know, people's desperation for fame and for money and whatever their financial situation might be, whatever they want to do for their family can really let you blow through a lot of red flags and normalize some behavior that you shouldn't be normalizing. But ultimately, this guy really feels only as dangerous as he was able to become because of people's belief in him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is like the weakest sauce. I mean, he can't even close his mouth. This is a mouth breather of epic proportions.
He's a mouth breather. He was, I mean, like, yeah, to give some background on, for those who haven't seen it, like, he started out, he was a little dweeb, you know, he got picked on as a kid and he wanted to be a dancer in rap videos. And he grew up in Mount Vernon, by the way, not like the hood. Like he grew up in Mount Vernon and I guess
it's like the first neighborhood in the Bronx.
Right.
It's pretty residential. Not, you know what I mean?
It's not like affluent, right? But it's like, yeah. Anyway, he wanted to be a dancer in the videos, which explains a lot of the
and dance he did.
The moves that were to transpire later.
I feel like I'm wearing white. It's a lot.
Oh my god! Yeah, you're part of the crew now. And then he became an intern. I don't have notes. I should
for that Andre guy.
Yep,
they had a weird relationship.
That was weird.
Moved into his house as
quickly as he could.
Is that when the diddling began? I mean, should we be making
Probably
light?
shouldn't be. But you have to wonder if their relationship had some kind of sexual
Seems to be some kind of grooming cycle. I mean, honestly, his mom felt a little sketch too. Mm-hmm. You don't get a beady-eyed little, you know. Sketch. Whatever he is like that out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he had no father figure in his life. His father was apparently some kind of a gangster in Queens, and he died. He got shot and in battle. I don't know.
I mean, there was that really telling moment where when Diddy described finding out that his father was like more affiliated, and the way he phrased it was so odd to me. He was like, yeah, I felt so relieved being like, oh, my father is this gangster. And I'm like, relieved?
I always knew I was the son of a gangster.
Whatever that means.
What?
You're a son of a guy who died because of like street gang violence. Like, I don't know why he metabolized that as being like, well, then I am a big deal. Like,
exactly.
It sounds like, I don't know, dime a dozen, man.
Right.
But again, it's like if that's what you see that as, it says a lot about
exactly
you and your character. But so even the footage I'm talking about, it is important to say, we do not know how 50 Cent obtained half of this footage. You know what I think?
No idea.
The documentarians that were following Diddy around for this documentary that was supposed to come out, he probably didn't pay them.
Of course he didn't pay them.
Because he doesn't like to pay people.
He doesn't pay anyone.
And so when Curtis Jackson was like, they were like, and everyone was like,
let's go.
If anything do you have
It was
a breath?
like,
Every step.
step.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's probably what happened. They were going to do
Yep.
that documentary for him. He stiffed them. You know, when he started having legal problems or whatever, he just never paid them. And 50 Cent obtained the footage.
Right. So I guess, yeah, to give more background here, Diddy becomes an intern and then quickly kind of rises up in the ranks there, proves himself.
By moving in with this boss.
Proves himself valuable, moves in with his boss.
Does his laundry and whatever.
His boss kind of becomes a father figure. I could be your father figure.
Everyone has their own relationship with their dad.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, we don't know. These are unsubstantiated
Allegedly.
claims. We have no idea. Just curious. But he, I guess, how did he end up like become? Oh yeah, he begged this guy to be A&R, be a person who would be kind of a liaison between, you know, the money maker paperwork people of the label, who was this Andre guy, and the artists themselves. So kind of like helping them choose what songs to sing. It's called like artist and repertoire. Right? I should know this stuff. It's kind of hilarious. I don't.
It's kind of like developing the artist.
It's developing the artist. Yeah. It's kind of a thing that it doesn't really happen much.
Yeah,
anymore.
he really wanted to get in there.
And then he like was like helping them choose what clothes to wear. Oh, again, allegedly. I don't know about that. But it seems like, and he was like also throwing these huge parties all over Queens and Manhattan at the time. And they apparently, I don't know, they were doing well because he was connected to this label. And so he was like getting appearances by people that he had no right getting appearances.
Yeah. But then one of his biggest breaks ended up being when he did a charity basketball game at which 9 people perished by being stomped. Largely due to their bad
I'm not laughing.
organization and, you know,
it was a nervous laugh.
Yeah. And that set the tone and set off his career. He got so much bigger after that moment.
Right. Because he was young and he was like basically taking the brunt of it in the press.
Mm-hmm. So that meant he was like facing the press. He was like front facing with the press. And his name kind of got traction from that. And I mean, even just like the optics of like, there are so many people trying to get into this thing that people died. It's, you know, it's his Astro World, whatever.
Yep. So I guess he becomes A&R and again, this is my interpretation of it. I think this dude just struck gold out of absolutely no talent whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't think he...
Well, we know he has no talent.
I don't think he even chose these artists. Like, it was like someone else was like, deal with this artist, deal with this artist, deal with this artist. The guy who signed Heavy D, the Andre
Even
guy.
a lot of the bones they were trying to throw him in the documentary, people have dispelled on TikTok after the fact. Like the fact that he came up with Jodeci's outfits. No, it was some lady. Everything he did is some lady. Everything except...
Yeah. That's all his. That's all
him.
his.
That's 100% him.
So he got the credit for Jodeci for like breaking them. Got the credit. Who else was it? It was I don't remember.
But he was involved in a
couple artists that did really well.
But a lot that didn't, honestly.
Of course. That's how it always goes, right? Yeah. So
a lot of people's careers could have gone better, but for him, I want to say. Like there are a lot of really promising artists that it seems like he wouldn't pay properly, wouldn't develop properly, and you know, it kind of petered out.
Right. So then I guess he was like, unsurprisingly, became way too big for his britches at the label, and there's like some crazy footage of him in meetings with his boss, and he's insane. It's like the quintessential Diddy to come later, like in a meeting or on making the band.
Pretty
like,
bad, because that Andre guy still in this documentary, like his mentor, still glazes him pretty hard. So I think he had to do something pretty bad to get fired.
Of course.
This dude didn't want to fire him. He had him moved into his house. He was probably hooking up with him.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
It seemed like, and obviously he wanted to keep him happy because when he fired him, he was like, I'm going to fire you, but here's a silver lining. You can keep Biggie because you were going to develop him anyway. Who does that?
I mean, he's such a promising artist. They wouldn't give you anyone, number one. And two, definitely not the Notorious B.I.G. with the amount of like just local hype that he had. I mean, he was clearly a promising artist. Yeah. It was insane they gave him.
The what's it called? Poster child of Bed-Stuy. But yeah, like, so that's what launched Bad Boy, obviously, was Biggie. Crazy. So this dude basically got there. This is what's so crazy to me. He didn't, I don't know. Do we give him any flowers? Did he do anything, you think, with these artists? Do we give him any credit for that?
No. Honestly. Honestly,
I'd like to not.
No, I think he was more of a hindrance than a good. Yeah. I think if these people were actually given someone in their corner who wanted to let them excel as much as they could excel, they probably could have had longer careers. Like Jodeci could maybe still be making albums or whatever. I think he's a very competitive person who has no talent. And I think he's actually jealous of his own talent.
Yeah.
I think that makes him more want to keep them not just under his control, but put his stamp on everything.
Yep.
So it's like whatever people have going for themselves, he wants to kind of dilute that and make it his stamp that is the thing that is people's takeaway. Right. That's kind of my problem among many problems that I have with Rick Rubin is I do think he's more concerned with putting his stamp on things than letting things be what they are and really accentuating what something is on its own without him. I think his ego makes him want to really just highlight what he brings to it more than what it is on its own. Yeah. And I think Diddy is very much like that.
Yeah.
He's also trying to like fuck everyone's girlfriend. So that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Diddy could probably take a page from Rick Rubin because I feel like he's slicker about the way
Rick Rubin is?
Yeah. And he's like
well, he's not dancing in the video. You can't be much less slick than that.
That's what I'm saying. So okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to get to.
He's not dropping a verse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like this. He knew that he's not. He knows that he's not talented, Rick Rubin. And he
won't say it explicitly. And I think people they pick up the words for they pick up the speech for him. Like
right.
I'm not saying this.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. He lets people sing his praises, and he never
he doesn't correct.
Does not correct.
So if someone's like, oh yeah, whatever, like he like plays with musicians and like figures out how to like figure out their chords or whatever. He doesn't play anything with anybody. He does not make music. He had tried at one point and he was bad at it. And all of his friends, even his friends from like when he was younger and they were all playing in bands together, and he did play in bands when he was younger. Yeah. They all went on to make bands that some of them that he ended up being involved with, like the Beastie Boys, others, they just took off in their own things. And where's his band? You ask yourself. Nowhere, because he's not freaking talented at that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have people like, I always end up in a Rick Rubin rant.
It's okay.
Then you have people like Brian Eno, who's an amazing musician in his own right, but he'll constantly call himself more of a curator, more of someone who, knows how to sort of farm sound from outside. But I think he creates a lot from nothing on his own. Yeah. But he will never say that. He's like the actual polar opposite of Rick Rubin. Yeah. Rick Rubin creates all this ethos and, lore around himself, and he just lets other people build it, and he never corrects them when they're kind of overly giving him flowers he doesn't deserve.
Yep. Well put.
And I think Diddy is much the same, except he goes a step further and he does actually give himself flowers he doesn't deserve.
Diddy, verbally out of his own mouth. That's the MO for Diddy, is to give himself flowers that he doesn't deserve. Yeah. And so he was so let's talk about some of the things he would do once he learned a lot. By the way, he learned how to rip off artists from the guy who was
Andre.
We should have got his name, but it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Not Andre?
Yeah, that guy. Okay, that guy. I don't know his last name. Whatever. Who cares? So he learned how to rip off artists from that guy. Like he's like basically, I guess, told them that's how you keep control of them. Never keep giving them lend them the cars for the video, lend them this, that, make them feel like they're rich, and then never actually pay them.
But they actually owe you. Yeah.
So all right. So then he gets Bad Boy, and then who knows where he actually gets the startup money for that? But
my light is drooping.
And what was I gonna say? Okay. Sorry.
We're just gonna let that.
Yeah, we're gonna let that go. So Diddy, he owned the studio, and so he would bring artists in, and he would charge them, $10,000 an hour to use his studio. Oh, you'll just recoup it on your royalties. All this crazy shit. He wrote the book on that. Like he was the worst.
And even his putting himself in the videos and
would charge people for putting people in the videos.
It's like he would pay himself, and then
it was
almost
mandatory.
As an artist, they would almost owe him because he did a verse. Like it's like they got a feature from someone, but he forced himself on it, and nobody wants him. Like even as a kid, before I really knew Diddy was a problem, I was never a huge fan of his, honestly. Who would be, right? I don't know. Maybe there were people who were big Diddy fans. I don't actually know any of them. Do you have any friends who are like, P.Diddy's my artist?
No.
Like even when he was like actually coming out with like his own songs and records, like, do you know anybody who was like, I'm really into Diddy? No, me neither. Exactly. But
I remember being a kid being confused.
Totally. And I do remember thinking it was annoying that he was always dancing around in Mace's videos. I didn't understand it. I'm like, this guy is like, what is he doing here? Why is he always
here?
Even when he's like, especially when he wasn't singing or doing anything, and he's just like dancing around in the background. I'm like, that's nuts. You don't see Jimmy Iovine dancing around in people's videos.
We're like, what does he do? And it turns out,
imagine if Jimmy Iovine was dancing in the back of Dre's video.
The answer is he does nothing.
Nothing.
He takes your money. He gerrymanders, or I guess whatever. Yeah, he messes up contracts to make sure that you have to owe him money for the rest of your life.
Pretty much. And there are so many, record companies, whatever, doing really similar things. And just people in the music industry. I think to add to that, though, a lot of his desire to control his artists and people was also because he is a crazy serial rapist. Lunatic, right?
Oh yeah, that part.
So he's also grooming a lot of these artists, like a lot of people that were on Making the Band, his show that was on VH1 that was like a, creating a band, like a talent search type thing.
Yeah.
And then he would like very focusedly mentor this band, which looked a whole lot like him just being chaotic and making people walk to Brooklyn for cheesecake and I don't know, do his laundry and, and apparently molest people. Yeah, drug and molest people. We all know about the baby all night. I don't need to get into this stuff too much, I don't think.
I think
we're all pretty versed.
Like 100 lawsuits against him for sexual assaults?
Yeah, something like that.
Absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that's just whoever came forward. And I think a lot of what's really interesting is a lot of these people who are participating in this particular documentary, which isn't Cassie, who is, I think, one of the first people who spearheaded really going for him this way. A lot of the men that he was working with, I don't think would have come forward if he'd paid them.
Oh, yeah.
So, sometimes you can't appeal to really bad people through morals. So I'm going to look you in the camera. If you are really considering just being a gnarly, horrible person and just taking advantage of people and just pay them.
You need to pay people.
Chances are they won't bring you to justice.
You probably could, like that one producer in the documentary is talking about, like he only got paid $29,000. I mean, if you give him 50 or give him 30 instead of 29, asshole, like give him 50K, he'd probably be like, all right, fine, whatever.
I don't even think he got that money.
No, he never did.
No, he was just promised the 29, whatever.
But even that was 29K for it was like 18 months of work.
I know. It's nuts. Not to mention whatever happened on that boat.
Good God.
Yeah. The boat was like the scene that really took me over the edge. Like
the boat
to set a scene for you.
Wrecked me.
This is at a point where the person that we're talking about, I forget everyone's names, honestly. A lot of them like kind of faded into obscurity.
I don't remember that producer's name.
But this particular producer, I think he was an artist at some point, basically had been to a bunch of parties at this point where he has been drugged and he's woken up, he said, alternately with women in his bed that he doesn't know where they came from. Sometimes Diddy's in the bed. He said he's sore. Anyway, so things have transpired, but he kind of stuck with it because he's just thinking, I'm going to get paid, and like he wants to provide for his family.
It's like a life-changing record credit.
And it's one of those things. It's not like he wanted to be drugged and wanted these things to happen to him. So at that point, it's like, it's a worse and more insane version of like when you've waited for the bus this long,
Well,
do you leave now? Right. If you've waited for the bus for 45 minutes, do you leave and the bus comes in 5? And I think that's kind of what it became. He's like, well, all of this has happened to me. I've doubled and I've tripled down on, hoping that this horrible person who's like taking advantage of me and like, essaying me or whatever it's going to pay off and I'm going to be a huge artist. And I think he just kept holding out hope that something would make it all worth it,
Yeah.
And that kind of culminates to him being now on this fucking yacht where Diddy is trying to like put together his fuck album. And he's a terrible artist. I mean, if we're even going to call him that. And he's also loaded, like constantly drugged out of his mind on whatever he can get his hands on. There's footage.
Y'all need to see this.
Curtis Jackson obtained that footage. He obtained the hell out of that footage. So he's whacked out of his mind on this boat and he cannot put down a single. You give me the words.
Yeah, he couldn't put down a verse. Like the producer guy was this is the one time he was laughing. He was like, and honestly, like we were working on the same verse for like 6 months.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like it's one thing to be bad and it's one thing to be a perfectionist and it's like and then it's another thing to be like just whacked out of your mind on drugs.
And like fundamentally untalented. Yeah. Deeply untalented and hoping that the more like loaded you get and the more you kind of hold everyone hostage doing take after take after take, it's going to get better. What's going to get better?
That comes back to what you were saying about like no one's favorite MC ever is Diddy. No one's.
Who are his fans?
Why did he have a hit?
I've never really thought about this, but who are his fans? He had a hit because people like Biggie.
That's what I was going to say. So like the whole thing is like, this is the thing with the record industry is like through smoke and mirrors and just like notoriety, you can end up with a hit. Like, I don't even understand why that song was like every step.
So he had Faith Hill on it. Okay, she was pretty hot at the time. It was about Biggie. Biggie was pretty hot at the time.
Biggie was the biggest rapper. I mean, him and Tupac.
Biggie was the biggest.
He was the biggest.
I think everyone was feeling bummed out about Biggie being gone, and he really propped himself up by bringing the moms of Tupac and Biggie together at this award show by like putting out like 3 songs about Biggie dying. He was propping himself up to be like, this is the vigil. His album is the vigil for Biggie. So all Biggie fans were kind of like funneled over to that thing. But meanwhile, he's like allegedly, probably pretty responsible. I mean, at least forcing him to go to LA when there was a lot of heat for New York artists and not letting him leave when he asked to.
Yeah.
If you're not saying that he's involved in the conspiracy to pew him, you could at least say he put him in massive danger and left his ass hanging out.
I'm sorry.
By making him be there. You see in the photo when he's sitting with Biggie next to him at that party, you can see the worry and stress in that guy's face. Yeah. And the way he manages to do this, Biggie can't buy his own plane ticket home. You've made his contract in such a way that he actually can't control his own finances enough to get himself out of that situation. And that's by design.
You know how I know he got him killed?
Allegedly.
Because he was in the car with him. There's no way he would have been in a car with Biggie, like, if he was worried about Biggie getting killed. You know what I mean? If he was worried about some unknown person.
Oh, right. With
no
all
way.
The heat that was
with
on.
All the heat.
Bad Boy. But I mean, it's still even risky for him to be there, you know?
That's true.
The West Coast wasn't really checking for Diddy either. I know he's got his like one guy, but there's all kinds of people out there, and like God knows who Suge has at his behest, right? So it's like, maybe he's just dumb sometimes. I mean, he's a drug addict.
Good point.
But
he's a crackhead.
Listen, all I can say is there's a lot of compelling reasons to think that he's involved, and if you don't think he's involved, he at least put his friend at massive risk, forcing him for whatever reason to go and play shows out there, which was completely unnecessary and which Biggie was completely against.
Yep.
And for context, I'm saying during a period when the East Coast and West Coast rappers were really at each other's throats. There had been a lot of dissent, and that was all cultivated by
Diddy.
By P.Diddy.
And Tupac had been killed. Also, almost definitely and corroborated.
So that one. Listen,
yeah,
I'm going to all but say it.
We've got an admission from someone. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
saying
feels...
that he paid him to shoot Biggie, to shoot Tupac. So that's why I'm like, it's like they were. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's talk about the Tupac thing a bit. Just watching these two people parallel to each other, it shows you everything you need to see. It's like looking at Kendrick Lamar. I know this light is driving me nuts. It's like yawning downwards. Keep going. But it shows you everything you need to see. It just feels like the Kendrick and Drake thing, but with guns. So you have this very talented person who's really likable to a lot of people, has a great reputation in the business, and like well-spoken, charismatic, just everything going for him. And then you have this dude who just knows he has nothing going for himself. And all he has is ability to manipulate other people. And he's just working in slick ways, trying to get other people's girlfriend, like trying to undermine their career, control it, like trying to kind of level people out, never let them get any more power than he has. And I don't know, it's like a mirror just. And I think Tupac was too much of a mirror. And I think we've all had those experiences, like probably on a lesser scale. But I know me and you have had experiences where you're working with somebody and you just know they can perceive, because of how you operate and the standards you hold yourself to, how you must view them.
Yeah.
And they don't like the mirror, so they try to break it.
Well, yeah, you too.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you haven't even mentioned the fact that Biggie started becoming good friends with Tupac.
Yeah.
Like Diddy, you can tell Diddy loved Biggie. Like he did. I'm not saying he didn't love him, but like he loved him in like a grabby,
the way a really bad person can love someone.
The way a really bad. Yeah. He wanted to own him. He wanted him. Yeah. And was also jealous of him. So he wants to own him. He's jealous of him. And then now this dude is like hanging out with Tupac more than he's hanging out with him. And he's like...
Tupac, a man who triggers Diddy as well.
Right, exactly. And because even one of his co-writers, one of the writers who wrote shit for Diddy said that he was like obsessed with a certain Tupac song, I forget which one, and he was like trying to figure out
trying to recreate it. He was trying to work with him, I think, too, and Tupac was just like not really into it.
Well, by that time it was pretty early in his in Bad Boy, but he had already, I think, garnered a reputation for not paying people.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm sure just one meeting, if you have enough discernment, one meeting with a person like that, you'll get the info. That's, again, I never want to get into a victim blamey place. And I think you could only operate from where you are. And I think I definitely have hypervigilance in my life. But I think if you have, some people have no boundaries. And so they don't have vigilance at all. And I don't think a whole lot of Diddies get by healed and mentally well people. I think he's easy to see coming if you're someone who sees stuff coming. But he's also really good at knowing who has a desperation in their life, who has a hole, a gap, a missing something, and he knows how to crawl in there and use that.
Yeah. And a lot of people who become artists have that.
Yeah.
They see the light at the end of the tunnel. They see that they could get this career that they've always wanted, that is so against all odds that you could get. It's like he knew that he had that power, and that all he did was abuse that all day. Yeah.
His miscalculation with many people was thinking that's this completely unbreakable desperation. And I think he's learning the hard way that that's not true. You can push people to a point and they will snap.
Yeah.
And I think not paying people was a lot of people's trigger. I think they could have gotten through a lot of the shit he perpetrated on them, but to also not be paid. And so now I don't know how it's not clear to him. If you give people nothing to lose, they're going to come for you.
Yeah.
If they don't even at this point value their life because you brought them so low, they're going to come for you.
Yep.
And this is when someone who is like so deeply just black and rotten inside, it's an insane miscalculation. Like
it is.
You have given these people, like they basically are down to just like go down and take you with them.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you've cultivated, you know?
Yep. But that, you know, by what it took him like 3 years, but by this point he's like already a complete megalomaniac. Like, believes that he's like, literally there's footage of him obviously high out of his mind, but being like, the only person I could compare myself to is the son of God.
Yeah.
It's like, and you can tell he like
a god
really believes it
multiple times. He also was like, "You're going to say this to me, a god?" Like he, and I'm sure cocaine is a hell of a drug, and that probably is involved in that. But he definitely has, you know, grandiose personality. But you know, I'm saying that he's miscalculated. He's being brought to justice, but he's also, in my opinion, getting away with it on some level. I mean, a lifelong, since he was like 20, career of being a serial killer, allegedly, you know,
serial rapist, serial killer,
having so much proximity to a lot of people who disappear that it's convenient for him.
Yeah.
And just ripping people off in this, like, it seems like 4 years time served.
He's like,
is it maybe worth it?
I mean, seriously, like
if you put that to a lot of people, you can live this lavish lifestyle. You can do this, you can do that for like, you know,
4 years,
40 years. And then, you know, you're going to take a 2-year break with good behavior.
Do a short stint.
A lot of people would sign that contract. What?
It's absolutely crazy.
This is
one of the worst criminals known to me.
And this is only what we know.
This is only
the people. I mean, maybe there are people he paid and they didn't come forward, or like, you know, whatever. It didn't go on for long enough.
Yep.
It's nuts. And I mean, we wanted to talk about it because obviously it's crazy and really salacious and just insane trajectory. But also, I have felt frustrated that people who I think are pretty clumsy manipulators tend to get away with this sort of thing a lot. Yeah. Like, to me, this guy is the sloppiest, clumsiest, I mean, just most obviously diabolical person.
I think part of it, I think the fact that violence is mixed in, and he like had this gang affiliation with like the gang that his father was in.
Yeah.
And the fact that he like this has probably been known for a long time that he almost definitely killed Tupac and almost definitely killed Biggie. Like, allegedly. It's probably more well known if you get in closer to that circle.
Right.
You know, and so it's probably that has made it harder for, I don't know, him to be taken down, I guess, or for people to like, I don't know. Yeah. Tell the truth about him.
It hasn't helped anyone who's ignored it either.
No, that's for sure.
So
I agree. Yeah.
It's one of those things. I understand, you know, thinking that somebody has like shooters and, you know, wanting to not necessarily like ruffle feathers, but I think in the early on stages is when this, it matters more. I think when you're meeting somebody in an arbitrary meeting being like, oh, this is going to be your talent director, and they're wearing sunglasses the whole time. They can't look anybody in the eyes. You know, they won't shake your hand. Like, they have a reputation that precedes himself. I don't think he's about to like off you that day. Yeah. So I think just use your discernment when you're meeting someone.
I feel ill. Yeah. I think I'm sure he came on with more snake oil. You know, he probably comes on early. I'm guessing
the thing
he comes
about
on.
Snake oil is it's snaky.
I know, but people need to watch out for that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No, I know you are.
When you meet people and if it feels slimy, it probably is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think that the, what do they call it? Superficial charm that narcissists display. I don't actually think it's hard to spot.
It's really not.
I don't find it hard to spot. Yeah. And again, I have hypervigilance and I understand that, but I want to encourage people to look out for that more.
Yeah.
if you're looking for it, you'll see it quickly.
Yeah.
You'll see it quickly.
It's not going to be worth whatever you get out of that situation.
No. And I think people, even in situations that aren't maybe as charged as like, you're going to get a record deal and you're going to make millions of dollars, right? Yeah. So I understand that there's other stakes for something like that. It's like a lottery win or something. It can maybe make people talk themselves out of their own intuition. But on a smaller scale, I've definitely experienced people just blowing through really obvious red flags with people and allowing them to have behaviors because the convenience of whatever, wanting to work somewhere or, it being in a friend group and everybody else says they're nice. Make it weird, dude. Just make it weird. If this person is moving funny, that kind of thing escalates. And it's not always as innocuous as you think. Yeah. You hear all this stuff about, there's this person who was in, a hardcore scene or whatever. And it turned out they were just constantly like, trying to hit on 16-year-old girls and everyone just, it's always these little things, right? Mm-hmm. And people think it's nothing. And then you hear crazy things later, Right. Like I could tell you some stories about random people I've just worked with in restaurants and, everyone's like, it's nothing. And then down the line, you hear something insane, like they try to poison someone's tree. And anyway,
you should,
a specific story.
You should at all costs try to only work with people you respect. And it's like,
that give you respect.
And they give you respect. But real respect, not like some.
It's a really baseline subterranean standard to have passing mutual respect. Yep. And that's not just in work relationships. That's not just in, in any relationship. You actually cannot have a relationship with someone that you don't have baseline respect with. Yeah. If they cannot grant you that, if they can't grant you the simple respect of removing their sunglasses and talking to you eye to eye, I promise you it only gets worse.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he looks crazy without his sunglasses on.
He does, and he is.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have mentioned on my mind on your nerves too, as we're wrapping up. I've obviously been in a lot of like comment sections about this Diddy documentary and stuff. And, a lot of us who are African are pretty obsessed with the fact that he looks really Somalian. Like granted, like an ugly one. Somalians can be people, but they can be really beautiful people, obviously. But he looks like one of the bad looking ones. He looks Somalian. Okay. And like I can feel his deep desire to eat bananas. Like Somalians love bananas, by the way. It's just a thing. But he looks deeply and profoundly Somalian. Yep. But in the comment sections, there was this one specific kind of commenter that I was like, ooh, I should have made this my on your mind, on your nerves. So we're all just talking about, he looks Somalian. You can feel the banana in his pocket, whatever. And this person is just like, well, why does it matter? He's not.
He's not? You're like, how do you know?
We know he's not. Right. I mean, he's African-American. Who knows if he has some recessive Somalian gene. Right. I don't understand why you're saying this. What kind of comment is this? Yeah. Why does it matter? It sounds like you don't enjoy this content.
Yeah. Adios.
I don't understand people who go on posts and they just are like, either they don't get the joke or they don't like the joke and they feel need to comment. Well, he's not Somalian. I don't understand. Who cares if he is? Not you, I guess. So it's not for you. It's that problem with like, I don't know, like you're all talking about contact lenses, but I'm blind. Like, why are you here? Why are you here? It feels so low IQ. I can't take it anymore. I could delete my whole TikTok because of comments like that.
Yeah, for real. You all ruin the fun.
They're ruining the fun. And it's like, there are so many things, by the way, that I look at. I'm like, this is so asinine. Why would anyone post this?
Yeah.
I don't engage with it, Yeah. If you don't want to be here and be petty and be goofy with us, go away. Like, and half the time they'll be like, I'm too employed for this. I'm like, no, you're not. You're commenting.
You took the time to say it.
Your 100 characters, that's not that many. Your 50 characters takes the same amount of time as mine.
Please upload your proof of employment.
He looks Somalian. I don't know why anyone's talking about this. Same amount of time. Yeah. Get out of here. Anyway. Last thoughts on the Diddy doc?
Not to steal what you said at the beginning, but it feels like it bears repeating. I think the number one takeaway here is that this dude is a loser.
A loser.
An absolute
dork.
nothing,
twerp,
no talent, no
no playing ass.
And okay, I'll put my own spin on it, but it's also something that you've said a lot, which is that this man is working so hard to not just work hard at something. Like, you want to be a musician, you want to be in rap videos, take time developing the craft of rapping, but
manipulate some beats, groom some talent in yourself.
And you watch him, you know, years down the road at the end of his career here, like
hopefully
methed out of his mind, spending 7 months on one verse. It's like, you're working so hard now because you never worked hard, and you're not even actually working hard. You're just doing it a lot.
Yeah.
You're not actually willing to do any reflection on how this happens or how good rappers rap or how good music is made. You literally just want to find someone that you can fuck over that can do it for you. And that's just pathetic and lame and inexcusable. And yeah, you're no one's favorite MC. And yeah, dude, congratulations.
Or person.
You got the fucking yacht. You got to be in the videos. You got your stupid career because you killed your friend, allegedly. Whatever, dude. Congratulations. You got it, and you can live for the rest of your life knowing that you got it on absolutely no merit of your own, and that honestly, you just annoyed at best annoyed everyone that you came around.
At worst, deeply traumatized.
Deeply traumatized. So
that's another thing, right?
You're a fucking loser. You're a dork.
And that he
idiot,
knows it.
And you
it's
suck at
giving
dancing.
Foxcatcher, you know, exactly. And I always come back to Foxcatcher somehow, but it's giving that. It's
pretty amazing.
There are tons of people working in the industry right now based on just being cool in the room.
Yeah.
So even if you're not super talented or whatever, you could at least be fun to be around. You know what I mean? But he's also a drag.
He's the worst.
To everyone he's around, he's just a drag, or he's weirding them out, and he's saying weird things, and he's too hyped up, and needs to control everything, and he's hitting on someone's girl. I keep mentioning that it's such a personality type. It's like Drake
important.
all over again.
It's important.
You know what I mean?
He is.
It's like this.
Drake is Diddy light.
It just speaks to insecurity.
Yeah.
If you only want something because someone else has it, that's scarcity mentality.
Yeah.
And that's from insecurity. So that's the only reason I bring it up so much.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's kind of just nothing more insufferable to be around than someone who is insecure and projecting on everyone else.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
that.
Diddy.
Watch it. I mean, it's compelling. I think there's a lot to learn there. I think there's a lot to learn about how much more quickly this all could have been, dealt with, wrapped up if he was not allowed to gain traction this way. Exactly. You know, I know we're talking about that, there's some violent people that he could get to do this and that, but if he was never a record executive, who would he be doing all this to? Who would he be calling hits out on? Nobody, right? Yeah. He'd just be some idiot who tried to dance.
Yep.
He'll just be like whatever his kids are going to be.
Yeah. God forbid.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and I hope a lot of people learn. I feel like I'm always amazed at how few people know that this is how the music industry works. But even me, as a person who's heard about this,
not exactly that.
What?
When you say this is how the music industry works, not everybody is
no. He's the worst, one of the worst.
Yeah, not everyone
maybe,
is
if not the
having
worst.
baby oil parties.
No. I'm just saying that the way he took advantage of all the artists that he signed.
Ripped them off,
And ripped them off. That, I think earlier, I've been meaning to correct. I think I said he wrote the blueprint on that, and that is definitely not. He did not write the book on that. That is not. He just followed in a long line of.
I mean, we all hear about artists dying penniless.
Yeah.
How does that happen when there's so many millions of dollars to be made? It's it just consistently happens. It's been happening forever.
But even me, every time I hear about it, it shocks me because it's just horrible. I can't believe people do this shit. But so definitely watch the documentary. Diddy, whatever fame you had, whatever credit you had, that's over with, bro.
Yeah,
that's over with.
So you shouldn't have asked 50 Cent to go shopping.
And the other lesson is don't ask 50 Cent.
Don't ask 50 Cent to go shopping. Don't mess with people with Cancer placements and Gemini placements. Both Kendrick Lamar and 50 Cent have those. They hold a grudge. They know how to do a long game. Do not try them. They will do some epic Nathan Fielder shit on your ass. Like it will be
they'll go
beyond.
The distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go the distance. All right. Let's leave it at that.
All right.